Hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing great, and I'm so excited for this video. I hope you guys are excited as I am. I am giving you 5 recipes using 2-ingredient dough, and I think you guys are going to love this video. So if you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you save this video so you can go back to it anytime you want to make any of these recipes. Everything is going to be listed down below as far as recipes, macros, all of the things. And then do not forget to share, like, and comment which one are you most excited to try. We are currently making stuffed crust garlic pizza, and here is the dough. The recipe is on the screen. Now, whenever you're doing 2-ingredient dough, the recipe is always going to be 1-to-1 ratio. So however much Greek yogurt you're putting in, you need to add that much flour. So if you're wanting to do, for instance, this pizza crust, I'm just doing a single serving. So I only did half a cup of Greek yogurt and then half a cup of flour. And then as you guys see, I seasoned it with salt, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. And then for the stuffed crust portion of this, I added in a whole milk string cheese and just rolled it over, put it in the microwave, put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10, 15, 20 minutes max. It's all depending on your oven. And this is what they come out to look like. I personally top mine with some garlic butter and some cheese, and this is how it turns out. It is so incredibly delicious. I'm a huge fan of this, and it comes into about 500 calories. Like I said, I will list all the macros down below. Now for our second 2-ingredient dough recipe, it's the same exact base, only I did a cup to a cup. And then I did the same exact seasonings, and this is going to be our calzone dough. Now, I've never made calzones before. I've been wanting to make them for a while, and then I said, okay, today is the day. And all I did was 2 tablespoons of Rao's sauce, 1 tablespoon of part skim ricotta. I don't think you see me. Yes, actually, I do. I season that with salt and garlic powder and then Italian seasoning as well. Then I top it with some cooked chicken Italian sausage. I get it from Publix. It's delicious. So I did 2 tablespoons of that, and then 2 tablespoons of reduced fat mozzarella cheese. Now, when I went to fold over the dough, I said, ooh, this is stuffed a little. It's kind of oozing out. And then the dough just, I would say, and I'm going to tell you this in a minute, don't do this into 4. I would say do it into either 2 or 3. And then, of course, that will change the macros too, but I think that it'll work out better. And then, of course, you want to cut slits in the top of your calzones as well. I'm not gonna lie, these are very ugly. This is my first time making them. So I would say instead of making the dough and splitting it into 4, that you make the dough and split it into 3. Because once I turned it over, it just kind of started falling apart. However, this is going to be amazing. And an entire one is less than 300 calories. I think it's like 215. So I just have some garlic butter melted, and then I also added a little bit more garlic, and we're just gonna put this over the top of each calzone. And then I'm just gonna take some of the powdered Parmesan cheese and just sprinkle over so it kind of sticks to that butter. You can put sauce on the side, warm up some sauce and put that on the side and dip it. And this is just another idea of something you can do with 2-ingredient dough that is absolutely delicious. Let me know if you give this a try. They don't look pretty. All right, moment of truth. You got the kids, y'all are the real determination if it's good or not, because I feel like sometimes y'all don't like certain things. This is what the inside looks like right here. Okay, cheers. I like it.
You said you don't like it?
No, I said I like it. What do you think?
I think it's okay.
What? I honestly don't think my kids like 2-ingredient dough. What about you, Ava? It's not bad. I like it a lot. It is really good. But I'm also used to 2-ingredient dough, so.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really good. So if you make it like I made it, with 4 servings, and everything that I have here, it's 254 calories, 7 grams of fat, 28 grams of carbs, and 18 grams of protein. So, I think that's pretty good. And it's very tasty. So, I'm a fan. I will be making these again, and I will be perfecting it so they don't look all crazy. Today we're making 2-ingredient dough pretzels, and we're going to be also making some pretzel dips. Now, I just made a basic dough 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 ratio, 1 cup of self-rising flour, 1 cup of plain fat-free Greek yogurt. You can play around with this dough depending on what kind of pretzel you want. If you want a sweeter pretzel, you could always use a vanilla Greek yogurt, and then maybe add some 0 calorie sugar into the dough to make it sweeter. I'm just gonna go with plain, and I'm gonna sprinkle the top with some flaky sea salt. And from there, I will make some dipping sauces that are gonna be savory and sweet. So I'm gonna change up the flavor profiles that way. So this makes 4 servings. You could cut it smaller, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the 4. I floured my cutting board, and basically to make pretzels, you're just gonna need to roll this out. It's very simple. So just roll, 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 roll. And you could also make cinnamon sugar. You could go ahead and put the cinnamon sugar on the dough right now. You could do it after it bakes. You could spray some oil. You could spray some olive oil spray, and then put your 0 calorie sugar and some cinnamon mixture and do it that way. You can make these as thin, as thick as you want. I think I'm gonna do it the length of the cutting board. And then from here, you just kind of do a little twisty twist. These aren't gonna be the prettiest. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a pretty aesthetic cooker. I'm just not. I'm not. But this stuff tastes good. Like those calzones did not come out the greatest, but they tasted delicious. And it's gonna be the same with these. Now, obviously, you can make it a little thinner, you can make it prettier, but like I said, I don't really care, even though I should, because I'm doing this on YouTube for thousands to see, but it's fine. And from there, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on my, this is like one of those little slip mats. I'll link one down below from Amazon, and literally nothing sticks to it. I love it. So I have that, and I'm just gonna work on the other 3. And we will put them in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Okay, so my pretzels came out looking like this. Not the cutest, but that's okay. Now we're just going to put some flaky sea salt on top of our pretzels, and I'm just gonna lightly spray some oil, and then take the sea salt so that it will stick. Just put her on top. There are our delicious pretzels. This is our first dip for our pretzel. We're gonna be making a cream cheese frosting. So I'm gonna take 12 grams of this whipped cream cheese frosting. Then I'm just gonna sprinkle in some cinnamon. We're gonna mix this together. And I'm going to microwave this in 5-second increments until it's nice and melty. It doesn't really look great, but it sure does taste great. So that is dip number 1. Dip number 2 is a cheese sauce. So it's more of a savory feel. And I'm gonna take a wedge of, you can do any of the Laughing Cow. Do you guys know, these are only 25 calories for a wedge. And they have so many different flavors now. They used to just have the Swiss. Now they have all kinds. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out, because these are very, very, very versatile. But this one happens to be the creamy, spicy pepper jack. So we're gonna get a little bit of a kick. Then we're gonna do half a teaspoon of almond milk. So I have a teaspoon right there. We're gonna do just a little dash of garlic powder. And I'm gonna melt this in 5-minute increments in the microwave. She a little chunky, but she's still gonna be good, okay? So that's dip number 2, nice and savory. And that is delicious. Dip number 3, we're going back sweet. So we're gonna take a little bit, let's just try to do about a tablespoon of this Fairlife protein shake. Let's do 2 tablespoons. We'll do 2 tablespoons of it. And then we'll do 1 teaspoon cocoa powder. And then half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of this powdered confectioner's 0-calorie sweetener. This is the Swerve brand. If you like it really sweet, probably go more on the side of the tablespoon. If you don't like things sweet, super sweet, then go with about half a tablespoon. And just mix this together. And there is our chocolate dip. It is a little drizzly, but it tastes phenomenal. And then last but not least, we are going to be doing a honey mustard. So do about a tablespoon of mustard. Make sure it's mixed together. Sure, we don't want watery mustard, so make sure you shake it. It's about a tablespoon. Then we're doing 5 grams of Greek yogurt. And then I'm doing 5 grams of this Mike's Hot Honey. If you don't want the spice to it, just add regular honey. This is the only honey that I have. So we're just gonna go with that. And then you just mix her on up together and you have your honey mustard. So here we've got 2 savory, 2 sweet, all very delicious. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go heat 2 of these up in the air fryer and we'll taste test these dipping sauces together. I'm so excited for this. So I'm gonna try, this one's very watery, so I would go back and just do half of whatever I said for the protein shake. But yeah, because it's like very watery. That salty sweet, that's good. Yeah, I like that. Now, into my cheese dip, it kind of formed a little bit. It's not as watery because, you know, it hardened as it sat here. But this is my cheese dip. That's good. And I really like that kick to it too. Marco said you could totally do just a plain Swiss wedge. Laughing Cow cheese. This one I'm most excited for. It's the cream cheese one. I love me some cream cheese. And this one, oh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Oh yeah. Auntie Anne called, she wants her recipe back. That's that mall pretzel recipe right there. That's good. I hadn't had that pretzel place, Auntie Anne's or whatever. The Auntie Anne's, girl, I don't know, whatever it is. I haven't had that in forever, so It might not actually taste like it, but for what I can remember, and that smell, you know, whenever you go to the mall, you smell it. Here's our honey mustard dip. I think I added a little bit too much mustard, but it's still really good. Oh yeah, girl. Let me know in the comments down below, which one of these dips would you make if you make plain pretzels? Or do you think that you would make different flavors of pretzels? You could do garlic and Parmesan flavored. That would be good. You could do obviously the cinnamon sugar, and you plain with salt, without salt. You can do so many different things. You could even stuff these things with cream cheese, all kinds of things. If you want to see like a dedicated pretzel video, let me know in the comments down below. Well, I'm gonna go enjoy all of these dippings and have me a little girl dinner tonight. Now we are making cinnamon raisin bagels. When I tell you guys, these are incredibly delicious. To me, I can just eat them just not toasting them, not needing cream cheese, not needing butter, nothing. They're amazingly delicious just as is. And of course, I did the magic base of 1-to-1 ratio, self-rising flour, Greek yogurt, fat-free, and that is the base for everything. Like I said, I added just a sprinkle like this of cinnamon. And then this is right here, I know it says coffee, but it's actually monk fruit sweetener. So what I did was I added 3 tablespoons to this mixture. Now what I'm going to do is add in some raisins. So I've got it all mixed up already, and none of it's sticky or anything. So I'm going to add in 41 grams of raisins. And I just get these little boxes because I don't eat raisins a whole ton. And then when I was making this, I said, you know what would be real good? You know what would be real good? Some of these babies, these honey roasted pecan pieces. They're already chopped up. They're like, just dump and go. We're doing 14 grams. And this is going to make 4 bagels. Now you could make these bagels smaller and you can make them into 5. The last batch I did, I made into 5. You could make them into 6. However big or small you want your bagels to be, and then also whatever your macros are, like whatever your specific macros and how much you want to delegate to a bagel. But you can absolutely eat bagels and lose weight, and this is also high in protein. Keep in mind, obviously, the less you cut this, so like if I do 4, the 4 is going to be higher in protein than me just doing this into 5 or 6, obviously. So keep that in mind as well. It is getting a little sticky again. I think it's the humidity. What I have found with this dough is that when it gets hot, you do have to use a little bit more flour. So don't let that scare you. This is a very, very, very easy dough to work with, but you might, when it gets hotter and things like that, just have to add a little bit more flour. It's no big deal. So we've got our raisins, we've got our cinnamon, we sweetened up the dough, and now we also have our almonds. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the dough and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces and cut it as evenly as I possibly can. And then you just take your dough. I usually just kind of smash it down like so, and then just kind of put my finger through, and there is my bagel. Simple, easy, delicious. I'm telling you, these are incredible. You have to make these, especially if you like cinnamon raisin bagels. These are better than Lender's. These are better than the cinnamon raisin bagels that you buy in the store. They're so delicious, and they're also homemade, and you also know the ingredients that are going into these, you know, and they really don't take a lot of time to make. This dough comes together in literal minutes. And I love that about this dough too. And then I'm gonna put these, and we're actually gonna make the pretzels and the bagels together. So here I'm putting them all on the same cookie sheet to bake together. Our pretzels and our bagels are going in all at the same time. 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. Then I will check on it, and if it's not golden brown yet and not done, then you just do another 10 minutes. So I would say between 20 to 30 minutes, all depending on your oven. This is what our bagels look like. Don't they look amazing? I'm telling you, y'all have to try these. They're so good, and look at them. I mean, they're not the prettiest, but who cares? They taste incredible. Now it is time for something I'm very, very, very excited about, and we are making red velvet donuts with 2-ingredient dough. For our donuts, we're gonna use 1 cup of self-rising flour. Uh-oh, we might have to cut this in half because I don't think I have a full cup. Okay, that should do. 1 cup of self-rising flour. 1 cup of fat-free plain Greek yogurt, or if you want this to be, since it's a sweet base, you could also go in with a vanilla Greek yogurt. You choose what you would like to use as far as the Greek yogurt is concerned. I'm gonna do about 1.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, and then I'm gonna do, because this is a donut, I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of monk fruit sweetener. Now, I like my stuff sweet, so if this is too much, adjust to your liking. Now what we're gonna do is take some food coloring. Gel is going to be the best, that way you don't mess up your dough that much. We're just gonna do like, I don't know, about 1/2 teaspoon or so. And if we need to go in and make it more red, we'll do that. But that's all I put in for now. And then you just, like the rest of the doughs, you just mix, 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 mix. Go in with a little more red. Obviously, if you don't want to do this kind of food coloring, you can do more natural food coloring. All right, so we are making 4 donuts here. Okay, so heavily flour your surface, and we're just gonna spread this out. I'm going to cut it into 4, get it as even as I possibly can. And I'm not going to put holes in this donut. As a matter of fact, do you know what you could do? You could stuff these with cream cheese frosting. You could stuff these, like if you were just making regular donuts, you can make a Boston cream donut. You can stuff your donuts. So I think that would be so good. But I'm just going to kind of flatten them out instead of doing a hole. I'm just gonna kind of make them into a circle. And obviously, if you want a smaller donut, you can make this into 6 servings. You might even be able, if you want mini donuts, you could do 8 servings. Now you could air fry these, but I'm just gonna go ahead and bake them. And I'm going to put them at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we'll make our frosting. Now I'm going to make the frosting. So what I'm gonna do is take this whipped cream cheese, and we're gonna do 2 tablespoons, which is 24 grams. We're going to be shocked when I tell you how many calories is in one of these donuts with the frosting, okay? So the goal here is to thin this frosting out so that this 2 tablespoons goes last, so that these two tablespoons will cover all 4 of these donuts. So what I'm gonna do is take 2 teaspoons of almond milk, and then I'm gonna put this in the microwave starting at 5 seconds. And then I'm gonna put this in the microwave doing 5-second increments. I want this to be almost a glaze consistency. So I'm gonna do another 5 seconds. I'm just going to take a spoon to kind of smooth it out. And then what we want to do is dip our donut into the frosting like so. It's more like a glaze versus actually frosting the donuts. And this way we keep the calories down, but we still have the sweetness. The calories do include this, by the way, so I'm just gonna take the rest and just kind of evenly distribute the rest over each of the donuts. And then I'm taking 4 grams of these sprinkles. I thought I had red sugar sprinkles. Unfortunately, I do not. So if you have them, that would definitely look prettier and it would be more authentic to a red velvet, in my opinion, because it would be red on the top, but this is all I have. So we gotta work with what we have. So this delicious donut right here is only 173 calories, 2 grams of fat, 37 carbs, 10 grams of protein, and 1 gram of fiber. I'm about to eat a donut that is 10 grams of protein. Look how delicious that looks. Let's try it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Does it taste like an actual donut? No. But next time I make this, I will air fry them. I would also add more sweetener because I am getting a little bit of the tanginess of the Greek yogurt coming through. And I would honestly probably use vanilla Greek yogurt versus using plain Greek yogurt. So those are the changes that I would make. But let me know if you guys want a donut recipe video, because as I was making this, I was like, I have so many ideas of fun things that I could do. Overall, I think it's really good for it being protein and for it being 2-ingredient dough. Like, you cannot beat it, right? I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment and let me know which one you are going to make first. And when you do make it, come back and comment and let me know if you liked it or what tweaks you would make if you were to make it again and that you would suggest that I make. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to save it. And I love you guys. I hope that you're having an amazing day and an amazing weekend, getting ready for an amazing week ahead. You guys are amazing. I thank you so much for all of your support and love, and I will see you guys in the next video.